Welcome back to the Bible study series. Today we're diving into Genesis 5 and 6, two chapters that speak volumes about the legacy of Adam, the rise of human sin, and the incredible hope found in God's covenant with Noah. Whether you're new to the Bible or revisiting these powerful passages, this episode is for you. Genesis 5, the line of Adam and God's faithfulness. Genesis 5 begins with a genealogy that traces the descendants of Adam, the first man, highlighting how all of humanity is connected to him. This list of names shows the generations that followed Adam, culminating in the birth of Noah. But it also emphasizes an important truth. Despite humanity's imperfections, there is a thread of God's faithfulness woven through history. As we read through the names and lifespans, one name stands out: Enoch. Enoch's story is one of profound faithfulness. The Bible tells us that Enoch walked with God, and because of his close relationship with God, he was taken up to heaven without experiencing death. Genesis 5:24. This is a rare and remarkable event, and it serves as a powerful reminder that God honors those who walk closely with him. In a world already tainted by sin, Enoch's life shows us that faith and righteousness are still valued by God. The long lifespans of people like Methuselah, who lived to be 969 years old, may seem extraordinary, but even they could not escape the inevitable reality of death. This serves as a sobering reminder of the lasting effects of sin on the human experience. No matter how long we live, death remains a consequence of the fall of man. Yet in the midst of this reality, there is still hope. For those who seek God, there is a sense of grace and purpose, just as we see in the life of Enoch. Genesis 5 culminates with the introduction of Noah, a man whose name means rest. Noah stands as a key figure in God's redemptive plan for humanity. Despite the widespread corruption and violence that was spreading across the earth, Noah found favor in God's eyes. Genesis 6:8. This sets the stage for the next chapter, where we will see God's response to the growing wickedness of mankind and the beginning of a new chapter in his story of redemption. Genesis 6, the spread of sin and the flood. Now, Genesis 6 is where things start to take a serious turn. Here we learn that humanity's corruption has reached its peak. In verse 5 it says, "The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time." This is a hard pill to swallow, but it shows just how far sin had spread in the world, affecting not just actions, but the very hearts of people. The Nephilim are mentioned in Genesis 6:4, and while there are various interpretations, one common understanding is that they were giants or fallen beings who contributed to the moral decay of the earth. Their presence signified that evil had infiltrated every level of society, leading to violence and corruption. In response to this, God grieved over the state of humanity and decided to bring about the flood as a means of cleansing the earth. And here's the key point: God found favor with Noah. Unlike the rest of humanity, Noah was righteous and blameless in his generation. Genesis 6:9. Because of Noah's faithfulness, God made a covenant with him, promising to spare him and his family from the coming destruction. But wait, before we dive deeper into the flood itself, let's pause for a moment. The full account of Noah and the flood will unfold in the next episode, where we'll explore the details of the ark, the rain that covered the earth, and God's promise to never destroy the earth with water again. So, while we see the buildup to the flood in Genesis 6, the actual event and its significance will be covered in our next session. Stay tuned, because it's a powerful moment in history that shows God's judgment, but also His mercy and the beginning of a new hope for humanity. So how does all of this connect to our lives today? First, we see that sin has deep, lasting consequences. Just like in Genesis, sin can corrupt not only our actions, but our hearts. Genesis 6:5 tells us, "The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time." This powerful verse shows us just how far sin can reach, affecting the very core of who we are. In today's world, we often feel the weight of a society that seems to be getting darker, and it can be overwhelming. But just as God found Noah amidst all the evil, Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God, Genesis 6:9. He is always looking for those who choose to live righteously, to honor Him in the midst of darkness. Genesis 5 also reminds us of God's faithfulness through generations. We are part of a long line of people who have walked with God, and though we face challenges, there is hope. Like Enoch, we are called to live in close relationship with God. The question is, are we taking time to walk with Him every day? Finally, Genesis 6 highlights the importance of trusting in God's promises, even when the world seems to be falling apart. In the midst of human failure, God didn't give up on humanity. Genesis 6:18 records God's promise to Noah, "But I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you." Even in the midst of destruction, God always leaves a remnant, those who remain faithful to Him. He didn't forget Noah, and He won't forget us either. The hope found in God's covenant. As we reflect on the flood and the covenant God made with Noah, we can take comfort in knowing that God's plans are never thwarted by human sin. He is still at work in our world, and He will always find a way to restore what is broken. Noah's story is a reminder that God's grace is bigger than our mistakes, and that He provides a way for us to walk with Him, no matter how dark the world around us may seem. Thank you for joining me in this episode. If you're feeling discouraged by the world around you, remember this: just as God provided a way of salvation for Noah and his family, He has made a way for us through Jesus Christ. We may live in a fallen world, but through Jesus, we are offered hope, redemption, and a new beginning. Join me next time as we continue our journey through the Bible. And remember, you're never alone on this path. God is always with you. Be sure to join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for our Old Testament Bible study series, where we dive deep into the stories of faith, history, and God's promises. And don't miss our New Testament series on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we explore the life and teachings of Jesus. We're just getting started, and I'm excited to continue this journey with you. Take care, and may you experience the peace and presence of God this week. I'll see you in the next episode.